What is going on, and welcome to the weekly Unofficial Football Manager Show. My name is Paul and I am here to bring you a special show this evening. I have Alan from Sports Interactive here to talk to me today, so let's head over to a pre-recorded interview I did with Alan. Okay, thank you very much for joining us, Alan.
No problem at all. Thanks for having us, Paul.
For people who might be unfamiliar with the name Alan, do you want to just introduce yourself to the Football Manager community?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm Alan Granger, the digital and social media manager at Sports Interactive. I'm generally one of a few who will be managing the social media profiles, mainly Twitter and Facebook. And sit within the comms department at Sports Interactive, where there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us at the moment, and we handle all of the outgoing offline and online communications, as well as PR. My job's mainly really just looking after the Football Manager community online.
I think that is genuinely an awesome job. I think it's everybody who's listening to this, no doubt their dream would be to say, I work for Sports Interactive.
Yeah, I mean, that's fundamentally why I applied for the role. I've been playing the game, since I was, 10 years old. And, when I saw the job come up, I think it was December 2013, I literally, jumped at the chance. I was working in a similar field, and I said on my cover letter that it would be a dream role, both personally and professionally, and that's certainly been the case since joining the studio in April 2014. So coming up 18 months now, or just over 18 months.
So as you said there, you've been playing Football Manager for quite a while now, and it obviously attracted you to apply for the position at Sports Interactive. As all of us do, we all have them moments. I mean, I look back to 2006 with Cork City battling against Tottenham in the Champions League. I go further back to my childhood. I go forward to recent saves. Surely you've got these moments which, when you actually got the job at Sports Interactive, you thought, God, I've been sat playing this game in my bedroom and now I'm actually going to do it for a job.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what I realised when I joined the studio is that, everyone plays FM differently in terms of what motivates them in game. Some people like starting lower level, working their way up. Some people like managing their favourite club. Some people like, the challenges. It's very individual. I think for me, my history in FM is I was really, really mad about the data editor. And I used to buy every Scottish newspaper over the summer. I'd be on teletext, trying to keep up to date with transfers, just because I wanted to keep, the game completely up to date. And I used to invest a ridiculous amount of time in doing so much so that I actually never really played the game very much. I actually just used to update. And then obviously you would load up a game and then there would be 2 or 3 new transfers. So you'd say, right, okay, I need to load it up again. And obviously, get back to the data editor. But one of the things that really sticks out for me was it was a Leyton Orient save I had. Pretty sure it was 2006, and I picked up a young Cristiano Ronaldo who had wonder kid status at United. Never really happened for him, and he was just the absolute mainstay in my Leyton Orient side. We never won the European Cup. We came very, very close. But I think that was the one save that, looking back, I was really, really heavily ingrained in. And as I said, it's, I played the game very differently from the way that a lot of people would, in the sense that, I would really focus on like really intricate things. Like, for example, I would be really concerned about, balancing finances versus, kind of going crazy on my wage bill or really splashing out my transfer bill. So I found that the way that I play the game is probably a wee bit unusual compared to maybe the way that other people do.
I think when it comes to Football Manager, there's nothing is unusual anymore, especially with the social media aspect of Football Manager now, and the amount of ways you can share your journey and share your experiences. There's so many different ways to play the game. I mean, I used to think there must be nobody else who is genuinely as much of a nerd as myself.
Yeah.
And then when I entered the social media side of things, it was like, oh my god, there's a whole community I can share my nerdness with.
Yeah.
And
it's great because I think, for me, seeing how passionate people are about a game is just breathtaking. And I think that's something that really drives, everyone in the studio to just, continuously make, better games and, really push themselves at a professional level to really go above and beyond. I'm obviously on social day in, day out, evenings, weekends, and, it makes your job so much easier when you're tired and maybe need a break at times to see that people are just absolutely loving the game. I think that there's not many brands out there on the social spectrum who get as much kind of positive sentiment as we do. And I think being a fan of the game and obviously being, professionally motivated by digital and social, for me it's just a dream.
I mean, I don't think there's as you say, there's not that many, if any, games out there which you can have people who are sat up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. They're not just playing the game, but the editing videos they've made, the editing posts on the website they've made. And this is just my own personal day. There's endless nights where I'm sat up and I'm not doing it because I have to. I'm sat up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning because I physically cannot tear myself away from the game.
Yeah.
So you end up doing a guide or you end up doing a story on the website. Then you think, I'll just record one video, and that turns into 2 or 3, and then you're tweeting Miles how tired you are on the morning.
Yeah. To be honest, it's probably the same on our side as well. It's because everyone in the studio's got a massive passion for the game. It's quite murky in the sense of it's work, but it's also a passion. So I think that enables everyone very, very easily just to kind of exert themselves and go above and beyond, because you're doing it for something that you are so heavily invested in on an emotional level. And for me, as I said, it makes working life, which everyone has to face as an adult, just so much easier and so much enjoyable.
You're just rubbing it in now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to work and say, I was really tired, I was up all night playing Football Manager. when I do that, I just get a strange look from my boss.
Yeah, my girlfriend doesn't let me stay up all night and play Football Manager, so yeah, I can never use that excuse.
Obviously, you just mentioned your Leyton Orient save as one that stands out, mainly because of you being able to sign, obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo, who Manchester United failed to develop, then you managed to do that.
Yeah.
Would you say that's one of your fondest memories? And I think one of the questions that many people put across, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you was the social media side of things. Before you joined SI, and even since, you obviously have the SI forums as the main point, but there's a lot of places around the community. You have the Sports Interactive affiliate, the Away Stand in a forum base. Do you post on them, or did you post in them before you joined SI?
I didn't actually. I mean, I think I need to be honest and say that in the sense that other than Football Manager, like I'm not a gamer in any capacity. I don't play any other game. I don't play any console games. I've actually never owned a console. So my interest was just pure and simply in playing the game. And I actually never really developed what I would call an interest in the internet, probably until I went to university. So because when I hit university, I'd never really been involved online, I just kind of almost missed that out. Looking back, would have loved to have been, because I had a kind of core group of mates that, we kind of grew up playing the game together, and then they kind of lost interest in it, and I kind of had no one really to kind of, share stories with and kind of share progress with and just kind of, banter with about the game. So I think for me, now working in that vocation and seeing all the quality conversation and content that takes place, it kind of feels a wee bit like a missed opportunity. But now, obviously, that being my kind of professional responsibility, like I spend a lot of time on there, looking at the content, most of which is first class. Your understanding and appreciation for the game is second to none. And I think that certainly from being at SI, I've definitely got better at the game. I would say from the understanding of some of the pieces that you guys are creating, guides and tactical pieces, and it's certainly helped by my own kind of enjoyment and understanding of the game.
It's fantastic. I mean, what I find is we have different areas. I mean, our website is a Sports Interactive affiliate. We do have different other social media aspects, but they're not linked to yourselves. I have to obviously say that before I say, but there's loads of people who join daily to the group who come in and say, wow, I never knew about these aspects of Football Manager. I've been sitting alone playing for years.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, obviously, nowadays, with technology and whatnot and broadband speeds, you can be online constantly. You know what I mean? And obviously, you can be connected with people, from all around the world. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what's great about the community, and is that it's literally global. You know what I mean? And you can be, connecting with people in other countries that have just as much passion and understanding and kind of fervour for the game as you do. It's wonderful.
It's fantastic, definitely fantastic. And I think Football Manager and Sports Interactive deserve the credit that you guys are trying to even expand that even further with giving the Twitch capabilities inside the game now, which I personally use on FM15. There was many mornings I would stream after the kids had gone to school, and as you say, people from around the world. There's a listener from New Zealand always used to come onto my stream on the morning and say good evening. And I think you guys are trying to obviously always work on bringing the community together, so I definitely think you deserve a lot of credit for that. I
mean, as I said, the credit goes to the guys that are prepared to give up their own time, to play the game and to talk about it, because at the end of the day, like Miles has said many times before, we just make the game that, that kind of we want to make for ourselves, and the fact that everyone else loves it as much as they do is wonderful. And the fact that you're prepared to make, quality content off the back of it and expend so much time and energy is, for us is very, very humbling.
I think I'll speak on behalf of many people and say that we appreciate the fact that you appreciate our content. There's a question come in just from one of our listeners, Timothy. He's asked if inside Sports Interactive, do you have internal competitions? And if so, can you reveal who wins them?
I can certainly reveal one thing. It's not me that wins them.
At least you're honest.
Yeah. As I said, the way that I approach games, I probably never give myself the best chance to win. I play football myself in my personal time, and I'm very much about an attractive brand of football. And even when I know that that's going to lose me games, I still don't have the capacity in game to go defensive or robust or contain, which inevitably will lead to me losing. But certainly when the time is right, when the time is right, we will have some kind of online multiplayer games amongst maybe our department or maybe other departments. But to be honest, everyone's been head down for a long time with FM16, so that hasn't happened yet. But I'm sure when the time is right, we'll get it back up and running again.
So we were just talking there about internal competitions within Sports Interactive. Obviously, at times you must discuss your history within the game and stories from your childhood playing the game and growing up. Do you want to just share some more of your FM memories?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of stories. Back in an early version of the game, there was actually a guy in the game, a professional called Alan Granger. And he played for Dumbarton, and I obviously as a youngster was absolutely fascinated by this, and used to sign him like constantly. I'm talking like every single save, regardless of what level of team I was managing. And I don't know if it was a glitch or whatever it was, but 1 year, signed him for a fairly high-profile English club, and I think he banged in something like 48 goals. And I can't tell you. I can't express how satisfying that was. Just pure and simply because the guy shared the same name as me. It was almost like a childhood dream. Do you know what I mean?
I think I did the exact same thing growing up. There was a guy called Paul Wandless, but without the D, and I used to always sign him as well. So you're not alone there, Alan, in doing that.
And I think the other story is one that it's funny now looking back, but at the time was massively painful. I remember I was at uni. I can't remember if it was second year or third year. I think it was second year. And my mum works in a school, and I think it was it must have been like a public holiday, or like maybe an October holiday or something like that in Scotland, and I was off and she was off, but she had to go into work. It was like an in-service day. I can't really remember the backstory, but our PC, an old Packard Bell, used to be in the hall, and it'd be like right outside my mum and dad's door, and my room was in like the loft and like the converted attic, and I'd sit out on the PC for hours and hours and hours till like the ridiculously, kind of like wee hours in the morning, like 3-4 in the morning. We had this computer chair that was ridiculously squeaky, and like whenever you would move, it would just make this horrible noise. And she would always scream from her room, "Alan, get to bed, get to bed." And I'd be like, yeah. And I'd sit there as silent as I could to make it seem as if I was in bed. And I must have called it a day. Must have been 3:30, 4 o'clock that night. And then I went to bed. I've obviously been off uni the next day, so I'm thinking, brilliant. I'm going to wake up, get some cereal, and then just get right back on it, and just get right back into my save. And I've came upstairs with my cereal, and my mum's took the keyboard and the mouse to work, and it stayed there for a week as punishment for just refusing to get off the computer. And I actually remember the pain. I remember the emotions of just being absolutely shut out of what was a massive part of my life. And she brought it back, and I eventually negotiated the PC to be relocated to my room. And thereafter, being on the PC night in, night out was never really an issue.
That's fantastic. Getting some negotiation around the table to secure some Football Manager time. Absolutely,
which was, as I said, just a massive part of growing up. So to be without it for a week was difficult. Especially back in the day. You know what I mean? Like you had a bit of teletext, and you had the Scottish newspapers to keep you busy. You know what I mean?
Yes. I had a slight Football Manager addiction growing up, which included installing it on the school computers, which didn't go down too well. But yeah. my class teacher was a massive Football Manager fan. Right. So he used to bring in printouts of his side, and then I'd do the same, and we would compare before the school day started. Okay, so the next question that's come in is from a listener via Twitter, Bloghog FM, and he's asking, what is the best and the worst thing about working at Sports Interactive?
As I said earlier on, I touched on it, when you work in social media, you've got to buy into the fact that it's 24/7, 365. So, even when you leave the office, you're constantly online, because obviously your smartphone is pretty much has the same capabilities as your desktop computer. But as I said, your job's just made so much easier by the fact that 99.9% of the stuff that you're getting is positive from fans who are loving the game and sharing stories and basically just kind of sharing their enjoyment of the game. So it just, as I said, it makes your job just all the easier, mate.
I can imagine. Running the fan side, our Twitter account is active, and we have a very small percentage compared to yourself.
Yeah.
So I think the handling of it in general is going to be stressful yet rewarding at the same time.
Some days it's for the big announcements, or when there's I don't know, like a kind of a random piece of viral content that came in and just went mental. Your day can evaporate within minutes. It seems it goes from morning to night, instantaneously, and you think to yourself, God, what was that all about? Because it's very, very fast paced, but at the same time, you're literally talking day in, day out about a subject matter that you care about. So it's, as I said, it doesn't always feel like a job.
I think the next question I just want to throw to you is, when you get home from work, do you play Football Manager still, or is it kind of you've done it all day, you just want to relax and unwind?
I mean, I play it. I play it in my personal time from time to time. I'll be perfectly honest and say that I don't get probably as much time as I would like to play it, and probably a result of just by working in social media, but also living in London, having a partner. So it's I play it when I can. I think I dip in and out of it in periods. Sometimes I'll play 2, 3, 4 days, and then I'll dip out again. And it's as I said, it's just really based on what type of save I've got going on. But still very much play it in the office, because it's all about understanding the product and being able to fully support our listeners online. Fully support people on social media.
It's a fantastic reason to play Football Manager all day, so you can understand the product.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to end the interview, Alan, I just want to ask you a light-hearted question, and it's does Miles buy you all lunch in the office?
Does Miles buy his lunch in the office? I'm pretty sure he has in the past. But he'll certainly be buying his donuts tomorrow, because it's actually his birthday, and we've got a studio rule whereby rather than you getting cake or sweets or presents bought for you on your birthday, you have to buy everyone else something. So Miles is usually pretty generous with that. I think last year for his birthday we had pancakes, but I think this year for a change we're having donuts.
Fantastic. I want to thank you very much, Alan, for taking time out of your evening to come and chat with us.
No problem, Paul. It's been a pleasure.
And I wish you well for the future, and hopefully we get a chance to chat again soon.
Cheers, Paul.
So that was a fantastic insight to Alan's life at Sports Interactive, and a bit of an insight into Sports Interactive in general. Again, I want to thank Alan and Sports Interactive for allowing this interview to happen. And I want to remind you that this weekly Football Manager show is 100% unofficial. We do this from footballmanagercentral.com, and I want to hope that every single one of you comes back and listens next week.